I guess y'all wanted to come hear about the song, so I'm gonna play the song. Rain on me, and I promise that the sun feels strange on a rainy day on me. I pray to God that I'll find my way on me, and even if the sun don't leave me, it's rain on me. I know I always got a friend in the rain. I was talking to my God and I said I had a question. So, Wash in the Rain is like a prayer in a song. And, you know, a lot of times when you hear artists do stuff like this, like I don't identify as a Christian rapper, but a lot of times when you hear artists do stuff like this, people put them in a box of, oh, yo, this is a Christian rapper. This is probably the only, like, Christian-facing song that I have in my catalog that isn't, it's not the only spiritual song, but definitely the most religiously focused one, or the one that I guess would appeal to the smallest audience. But the song itself it's a real prayer. It's a real moment. So in the song, what's happening is Bubba, which is me, Bubba is fed up. I mean, it's lots of shit just coming from, you know, in each and every direction, just being thrown onto, you know, onto their plate. And for people who identify with that, I wanted to create something that wasn't so personal that they couldn't, but also I wanted to keep it, you know, true and genuine and authentic. So, you know, when the song starts talking about you being in the shower and, you know, legs going out from underneath you and you know, quiet tears, like those are the kind of things that were like literally happening right before I wrote the song, right before I put it all together. One of the biggest strengths of me as an artist is my creative process. At this point, since I've been doing this for over a decade now, I can basically take nothing and turn it into a finished product in a time span of 4 or 5 hours of focused work. You know, it's like flow state. Once I actually get into it, it just goes and goes and goes until it's done. But those moments in the song where it feels like this is heavy or this is intense, or it's almost like it's glossed over by just the nature of it being a song, those are real events, those are real things that have happened or are happening to me. And even the second verse where it starts talking about seeing my brother. For those who don't know me, I lost my brother at a very young age. And that's a story for another day. But when I'm talking about having a vision of seeing my brother, this is real things. These are real experiences that I had. You know, it's not like, oh, this would be cool to put in a song. No, this was real shit, and it was put on my heart to be like, yo, you just gotta tell them what happened. This is exactly what the fuck happened. It probably didn't sound as elegant. It probably didn't sound as cool when it was happening, but it was happening. Real time, real life shit. You know, the isolation, the depression, the moments where it could be considered borderline psychosis because I'm having hallucinations of a passed on loved one telling me everything's gonna be good. And then the song kind of comes to a climax with the paint. Now, when we're talking about the paint, like the whole idea of painting a picture of what you want, a lot of times when people take that, like if God came up to you right now and was like, yo, paint me a picture of what you want, I'll give it to you. You know, because of all that you have been through, all the work that you have put in, all the battles that you have fought for me, I'm going to give you a paintbrush. You paint me a picture, and that's what I'm going to give to you. But the character in the song, and I mean, I say the character, I mean me, but the character in the song, just to compartmentalize that, everything that he paints is so simple. It's very wholesome. It's just like, you know, a family. I want to be able to have a voice. I want to be able to hear my girl's voice. You know, I want a wife and kids. I just want a home, not a house. I don't give a fuck if it's a mansion, just a home. You know, I thought that's a very sincere and a very touching moment that people would be able to relate to. But quite frankly, it's the truth. You know, it almost makes it sad and wholesome at the same time. It's like God in the song, in the story behind it all, God handed this person a paintbrush and said, paint me what you want. And this person painted some of the most basic needs of humanity, or some of the most simplistic things. And it really speaks to the tragedy of where people's mental health is nowadays. Okay, because you can, a lot of times when you hand someone that paintbrush and say that you can do that, people are just going to paint a fancy mansion or a vacation to Dubai with lots of chocolate and money, and or they'll paint a home on a beach house, a lake house, or a fucking yacht or a supercar or something. But this individual, when God handed them the paintbrush, was just like, I just want stability. I just want to belong. I just want to have the things that every human should have the right to have. At least that's what a reasonable person would believe, I assume. And that's what's beautiful, because the duality of the situation is, before he's handed the paintbrush, my little brother, he tells me, he's like, listen, this is not about money, but, take that out of the equation. Don't think about like, oh, am I being greedy? Oh, does the Bible say the rich man and the camel and the eye of the needle, all that shit? Throw that out the window too. Just paint what you want. We'll give it to you. We know your heart is pure. And the proof comes after the fact, because when the artist, when this story of the character goes to paint, they paint something so simple it's almost ridiculous. Painting a smile that they don't have to fake. It's beautiful. And then at the very end, the conclusion is like the aha moment of, the artist feeling like, wait, but, y'all are leaving. This vision is over. I've said my prayer. And you act like you were going to answer it, but nothing has changed. And God basically says, like, listen, we can't give you anything because everything that you wanted, you already have. It's just it's up to you to open your eyes and accept it. It's up to you to open your eyes and manifest it into your reality. It's already written. It's already written for you. You already painted the picture. Okay, you have it. So have it. And that's the beauty. It's like the rain has came down at first as a form of like depression. It started like, oh, it's raining on me. And then it was like purification. It was like washing all the dirt off. We talked about washing hands in blood and all those different kind of things. It's like cleansing. And then at the end, the rain is comforting. The song ends by saying, I always have a friend in the rain. It's because the rain was never the enemy. The rain was just part of the process. And just a little side note about the project itself, that little interpolation, the rain on me, that is something that has been stuck in my mind for the past 2 years. I mean, I've had several different phones because I like to drop my phone. I've had several different phones, iPhones, Androids, Motorola, Samsung, all that shit. And it's made it through different recordings on my different phones' notes apps for years, and I never actually put it together until, I had that moment in the shower where I was like just basically crying out, begging and pleading with God. And it came to me in a burst of spiritual, or like a creative energy. It was like a revelation, and it really felt good to have that full circle moment where I finally felt like I had the words to say to do justice to the idea. And considering how much of my creative catalog is made within a short time span, like everything captures a moment, it captures an emotion, it captures a feeling that I was having that day. And there's occasionally songs that I'll work on over a span of a few days or a couple weeks or several weeks, but this is by far probably the longest I've ever had to wait for the content, for the words to catch up to the feeling, the melody, the character of the song. So do me a favor, there's a whole brand new project out. It's called Pray For Me. It's a lot, but what I want you to do is check it out. I'm only putting it on SoundCloud for now because for all my A1 Day ones out there who know I started off on SoundCloud, I just like to put my music out there. So, give me a follow on there. You'll be able to see everything before it actually hits the streaming services or the pay for play or all that kind of stuff. This one is it's a different experience, man, and I hope you take the time to set aside and really enjoy it in its full capacity, because it's a new level. I haven't really been able to be in a creative space for a good almost a year, and this is everything that had built up and came from that. So rain on me, and I promise that the sun feels strange on a rainy day on me. I pray to God that I'll find